I extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Apparao Garu, the guest of honor, Dr. D.K. Sinha, our honorable director, Dr. R. Hemlata Garu, senior scientists, colleagues, and students. So after the completion of 6 days of the National Festival of Science, Vigyan Sarvatra Pujyate week, organized as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we are here today on the National Science Day for the Valedictory ceremony. The week-long festival of scope, comprised of scientific lectures by eminent scientists, exhibits displaying the contribution of great Indian scientists and contributions from premier scientific institutions in India. This Festival of Science has immensely helped in communicating and popularizing science to young India. I would now take the opportunity to welcome the dignitaries onto the dais. I request our Madam Director to kindly accompany our guest of honor, Dr. D.K. Sinha, and our chief guest, Dr. Apparao, onto the dais, please. I also request Dr. G. Bhanuprakash Reddy, Organizing Secretary, onto the dais, and Dr. S.N. Sinha, Scientist F, onto the dais. I now request Madam Director to kindly honor the chief guest with a bouquet. I now request the Madam Director to honor our guest of honor, Dr. D.K. Sinha, with a bouquet. I now request Dr. S.N. Sinha to honor the Director, Madam. We will all rise now for the national song Vande Mataram. I now request our Director, Dr. Hemlata, who is also the chairperson of the National Science Week Festival, to please address the gathering.
Very warm greetings to all of you. On behalf of the organizing committee, on behalf of our scientists and scientists from various other organizations, I welcome all of you to this valedictory function and also to our institute. I also extend a very warm welcome, hearty welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Apparao Garu, former VC of HCU, and also I extend a very warm welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. D.K. Sinha, who has come all the way from, he's Director of Atomic Mineral Directorate for Exploration and Research. So thank you very much for accommodating our request and making it possible to be present here and making our event a grand success by contributing to this. I mean, this is a special day because this day is Science Day in memory of discovery made by Sir C.V. Raman. All of us know very well because in 1928 on this day he declared this discovery that when light passes through some transparent object it changes its wavelength. So what happened to this? The many concepts of physics have changed because of this discovery and therefore he became a Nobel laureate. He got Nobel Prize for the same in 1930. So like that we have many ancient scientists with us in the 18th and also 19th century. We have Aryabhatta, then his own disciple and student Homi Baba, who was instrumental in getting atomic energy to India. And we also have several scientists like that. If we come to the latest century, here in the current science, we do have many great achievers like, for instance, who is the head of Google now and who is the head of Microsoft? Satya Nadella. And then for Google we have Sundar Pichai. Who knows, one of you could become, the young scientist sitting there, out there, could become head of Apple tomorrow. We do not know. So what we must remember is there is no alternative for hard work. All these people struggled, worked hard, and also have along with that important ingredients like critical thinking, creative mind, and absolutely no alternative for hard work. So one has to work hard to reach that spot, and the path that you take is also extremely important. All of us have that vision, all of us have that goal, we have to reach that spot. But what is important is how you work hard, how you, to reach that goal, what ingredients are required are also important. So with this, I close my remarks. Thank you all very much for coming and attending this thing. And I also congratulate the organizing committee as Banu Prakash as the head, as worked extremely hard, and also they had bird's eye for details. They planned so meticulously. Although it is a week-long festival, we could perform so well because of the exemplary contribution from each and every staff of the institute, along with other organizations as well. Be it scientists, be it technical staff, be it admin staff, all of them have done extremely well. Thank you all very much, and congratulations to the organizing committee and all the staff.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your address. I would now request Dr. G. Bhanu Prakash Reddy, Scientist G and Organizing Secretary of the Festival of Science, to give a report on the activities.
Good morning. National Science Day greetings to one and all sitting in this hall. Respected Director. Today's Chief Guest, Professor Apparao. So thank you so much for spending your time and making your presence here. And respected Dr. T.K. Sinha, Director, Atomic Minerals Directorate. He tried to come one of these days, but his busy schedule did not allow, but finally today he made it. Thank you very much. And we all know Professor Apparao sir also has a very busy schedule. In addition to his own laboratory work, now he is back in the lab, but he has got many commitments all over. So I cannot thank any more for his presence here. And then my colleague Dr. Sinha and all my colleagues from the institute, be it scientific, technical, scholars, admin colleagues, particularly admin colleagues who have facilitated all our activities, and my colleagues from the sister organizations, and all the visitors who made this program success for the 6 days. Now it is the 7th day. In the next few minutes, I will just try to apprise the chief guest and guest of honor and all of you what we have done in a very brief manner, because we have a very short program. Sir, all of you know that to mark the significance of 75 years of independence, Ministry of Culture along with the Office of PHA in association with Vigyan, they have planned this program called Science Week Festival. which they coined as Vigyan, Sarvatra, Pujyate, so that we respect and we celebrate the knowledge and particularly science and technology achievements. That's the idea of this program. But all of us know, and I don't want to repeat, but I just want to give a glimpse of the activities that we conducted in the last 1 week at NIN. NIN being one of the selected 75 centers across the country, because this activity has been selected at 75 locations in the country to mark the 75 years of independence. Now when we started this, it was actually the nodal institute is NIT Warangal, because we are running this program under the SCOPE Telugu. SCOPE means scientific communication, propagation and extension. They have SCOPE in various languages including Telugu. SCOPE Telugu is a nodal institute is NIT Warangal, and Professor Lakshma Reddy and Chandraya are the key persons. When they contacted me sometime in the middle of the January, at that time, sir, we were not sure whether the condition allows us to sit in the hall like this. And Vigyan Prasad had both the options, but I think they were based on ICMR's feedback. ICMR told the Vigyan Prasad that by the time you start your activity, probably you are okay to go ahead with physical mode. Exactly, it is ICMR feedback. They told us. So why I am saying this? It is again science that helped us to plan our programs. That's what I actually want to highlight here. The second thing I want to highlight is, sir, after almost 2 years, not almost, mostly completely 2 years, we are meeting physically with a magnitude of activity like this for 7 days. That is one thing that all of us have got together, and we decided that we should make it a big success. That's another point I just want to highlight here. Now coming to the program, the basic framework and structure is given by Vigyan Prasad. For 7 days, how it should be. That there should be 2 lectures, there should be expos, there should be film shows, there should be posters, and possibly each institute should display and demonstrate the science activities and experiments. But they have given a lot of flexibility to each center to customize according to their convenience and the way that they can organize. Keeping that in mind, so we have the 7 days program. First day it was inaugural, and where we had a chief guest, Dr. Narayan Murthy, Director General of Missiles and Strategic Systems of DRDO, who was our chief guest for the inaugural, along with our director. And together, our director and chief guest, after the inaugural, they also inaugurated the expo for the visitors. And another point here is that all the sister institutes, or the institutes from all sister organizations, like DRDO, ISRO, Department of Atomic Energy, DBT, CSIR, Ministry of Earth Sciences, our own ICMR, all the institutes are the part of this activity, sir. We have stalls, we have 24 stalls, and all the institutes are part of this activity. Without their involvement, I think this program would not have been that success. We could have shown our own activity in 5 or 10 stalls, but it is their involvement, their active participation. That actually changed the whole mahol, if I have to say in that word. It created a big mahol, and literally to say it created a festival atmosphere. So that way I must thank all the sister organizations and colleagues from the institutes. And coming to the structure, that we have one lecture in the morning, one lecture in the afternoon from second day onwards, and each day is a theme. The first day is annals of history of science. The second day is milestones of science and technology in India. The third day is Swadeshi Paramparik inventions and innovations. Fourth day being the cultural and scientific science fest. That was the day our Ministry of Culture, Dr. Kishan Reddy, visited us, and he spent a lot of time visiting, not only addressing the gathering in the hall, but he spent his own time in each stall and tried to understand himself and then encourage the people who were participating. That was a great thing that we felt. And then next day we have the theme is what is next to 25 years? How we are going to be in science and technology. And in these 4 days of lectures, second, third, fourth, and the 6th day, both in the morning and afternoon, we had 8 eminent scientists of the country speaking to the audience, starting from Dr. Mohan Rao, and then in the afternoon Dr. Chandrasekhar from Mohan Rao is the former director of CCMSR, and Dr. Chandrasekhar from IICT. Next day we had Dr. Venkateshwarlu Jasti. We we decided to call the pharma students so that he could address to them. that how pharma sector has evolved in this country. Without any presentation, he interacted with them and he told his success story so that some of them can, not only scientists and technocrats, they can become businessmen. So that was his experience and sharing. Then one of the sessions we had, the theme was milestones of the science and technology in India. We wanted to showcase NIN milestones because we are already a sold institute. We wanted to showcase our milestones to the gathering and the students, but for a different way, our young team has showcased this. This young team consisted of one technical officer, one PhD student, one MSc student. Together they have showcased our milestones to the gathering. That was a great thing. I think please give a applause to these guys. Scientists from ISRO, we talked about the space explorations, Professor Seshagiri Rao. Then we had Dr. Thaviraj from CDFT talking to us. And then yesterday we had another DG from DRDO, Dr. G.R. Rao. He was talking to the gathering for the next 25 years how it is going to be. Then the last lecture was our own ICMR Institute Director, Dr. Vishnuvardhan Rao from National Institute of Medical Sciences. He was talking to the gathering about the future of data science, how it will be useful. This is the lecture, and then in between, in the morning and afternoon, we have various exhibits from all these organizations, including our own. We have almost 10 stalls from NIL. We have showcased what we have been doing, what we are doing. I don't want to take one stall and one organized how they are done, but just I want to say one thing. As an organizing person or a team member of the organizing, I was curious to know. Then anonymously, I did some feedback kind of thing, how it is going. But you know, to my surprise, I will not disclose all the feedbacks. One feedback I was very interesting. That they said, we are not going to tell you which stall is good, which stall is bad, and how is it going to be. But we are so impressed the way the people in the stall, they were coming down to our level and trying to explain their enthusiasm. We thought we'll just have a glimpse and go. But the way they were explaining, we spent our time to understand. This was the feedback I got. This is very satisfying. So this is how we have conducted these activities. And one thing, Vigyan Prasar commitment for this program was 10 lakhs, but it's, I won't say matching, but our institute director has matched it to double the amount to handle this activity. That's a commitment from the institute. Another point is that all my colleagues in the institute, of course we are yet to complete the show, but they said we all have realized that this kind of activity should be repeated quite frequently. We felt that how much the kids are required to be educated, how much they need to be knowing the contributions of India and where we should go. I think that's our experience in the last 6 days. This is one thing I just wanted to inform you. And finally, as a team NIL, we try to create a festival atmosphere so that the visitors could celebrate the science and technology. I think we achieved to 90%, if not 100%, and that is my, as a team member, that's my experience and my feeling, and I hope all of them agree with me. And then the biggest here support and the leadership is from my director. So she literally monitored everything, and as I said, when we were scared of the budget, she said, don't even blink for a second, you go ahead whatever you have planned. That helped us to actually conduct this program. So that is another achievement that we finally, it is your presence that again we are very happy. As I said, in other words, as every beginning as an ending, in the same way, every ending will have another beginning. So mostly we will do this very frequently, and we will come up with a better planning, and we will see that how best we can reach to the people and common people and students. With this, I will close my remarks. But we have a formal vote of thanking. I have to say that all of us, because if I take one name, it is not fair on my part. Almost 250 from an institute, be it scientists, be it students, technical officers, technical staff, and MSc students, PhD students, admin colleagues, even our maintenance staff and admin colleagues they were here all the 7. Yesterday, day before yesterday, it was a holiday, but we are all here. So I have only one word, but that is not a big word. Thank you. But then I have to say, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhanu, for sharing the report of activities over the last 6 days. Now it's a pleasure to introduce Dr. D.K. Sinha, our guest of honor. Dr. D.K. Sinha is the Director of Atomic Minerals Directorate for Exploration and Research, Department of Atomic Energy, Hyderabad. He joined the department in 1984 and has vast experience in exploration of atomic minerals, spanning over 35 years in different geological domains of eastern, western and central parts of India. Dr. Sinha has published many new concepts which are used in uranium exploration program of the country, and he has more than 100 citations for his research publications. Dr. Sinha is also a life member of various national and international societies. I now request Dr. Sinha, our guest of honor, to give his remarks.
Namaskar. Today's function's chief guest, Professor Apparao, former VC, Hyderabad University, and our director, NIN, Dr. Himlata, Dr. Bhanu Prakash, Dr. Sinha, sitting in the dais, and many scientists who are participating in this valedictory function from other organizations, probably central government organizations, NIN team, and lot of students which I am seeing. I am very happy to see this gathering here for conducting the final program of this Science Week. A very good description of the activity has already been given by Dr. Bhanu Prakash, and that shows the effectiveness of program, what was planned by NIN towards the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It is indeed a great honor to be present on the occasion of the valedictory function of the Science Week festival, and the title is Vigyan, Sarvatra, Pujyate. This has been conceived and this has been implemented by Government of India in line with the 75th years of independence celebrations, and every government department is doing in their capacity and their organizations. In DAE, Department of Atomic Energy, we are also following the same thing. And when we got this message from NIN team that this function is going to be organized, we happily accepted, and we in fact participated with full enthusiasm. Even in fact, I wanted to be part of this function as a speaker, but I could not make it because of my earlier programs. But as soon as I got the opportunity, I rushed to this place, and I am thankful to ma'am and the organizer, Bhanu Prakash, for giving this opportunity to come here. Usually, such type of opportunities are very rare, and I support the enthusiasm expressed by Dr. Bhanu Prakash that he is going to organize many more functions like this, and from all central government organizations will say that if you are coming up or if you are giving opportunity, we will also participate in the same way. Something I could guess that fund was the problem. I never had that idea, otherwise we are already there. We could have certainly supported such type of activities. This should not come in any way of any development. This is my hint for future, I can say that. Something is required, certainly we are there to support for such type of activities. So take it in that way, and this type of activity should continue in future. Rightly pointed out by him, we should do this job because ultimately science has to be integrated. We know that this day is celebrated because of Raman effect. I'll not say much because I am knowing that our chief guest is likely to give more thoughts on that. I will share something which is may or may not be known to audience. I don't say that it is only thing. We come from atomic energy department, and why atomic energy is required, what is atomic energy, how it helps in nutrition as well, because I am standing in INI. INI and atomic energy has got a very close association. The food irradiation program of Department of Atomic Energy provides shelf life of many items. In fact, day before yesterday I was in Arunachal Pradesh. I met Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, and they are asking us that you share your technologies for preservations of the various items. For example, kiwis produced there. They need this type of help, that shelf life of kiwi or the produce, horticultural produce can go to market from that far-flung areas. So atomic energy has got various other aspects, not only producing the energy. Energy is very important nowadays. Today, newspaper Hindu says, if you say that many things are there, soil is degraded, 60% of soil is degraded, and after 100 years, we may not be having good soil, everything is polluted. I mean, this type of things are there. What are those things which are bringing into environment? What are the conditions now creating? So science has to take, science has polluted and science has to take care of the pollution now. I am taking you in something different direction. Try to come with me. I am talking the weather conditions of Hyderabad now. 20 years back I came to Hyderabad as a posting. That time Hyderabad was very pleasant. Now this year it is not so pleasant. Everybody will agree with me. Why this is changing? The global conditions are changing. The carbon ultimately which we are producing is ultimately destroying everything. Are we going ahead to an ice age? Probably yes. An ice age is known for destruction. Why it is coming so? Naturally carbon. Carbon has to be taken care of. Everybody's responsibility, all scientists' responsibility, and integrated approach has to come to solve this type of problem. Carbon, which is very important for food, carbon very important for livelihood as for destruction. Energy certainly needed, but not at the cost of emission of carbon. What could be our future requirement of energy? Shall we base upon thermal energy? Shall we base upon other energy which gives us carbon? Are we going to consume for ourselves, not thinking for our grandchildren? All those aspects are the aspects of science, and we should take integrated approach for understanding the problem which is available right now. Hope I am able to communicate. Ultimately, we should find out some source where we can have our energy need, where we can have our good food, not polluted food, and ultimately we can survive in that way. So, the responsibility of scientists, we are generating many things. We need to handle all those problems which have risen because of such type of issues which are cropping up. I am not explaining point-wise the things, point-wise items, because here in this gathering I understand everybody is scientist and they know the basic items, basic problems what we are facing, and the responsibility. This is our responsibility. We have created this, we have to give the solution. What could be the solution? That will be probably the integrated approach of science. The theme of this year's Science Week celebration program. As a part of DAE, we are developing many technologies, and those technologies are being shared with societal benefit, with society for the development of societal benefits. You must be knowing that DAE has got a very good center of TMC where cancer-related treatments are being done. Many isotopes are being developed. If you remember the speech of Madam Sitaraman in the last budget, we are going to produce the isotopes for human, for medical purpose, and that is going to be in PPE mode. Still it is there in the government sector, but it is going to be produced in the private sector where the multiplication will be more and the isotope related advantages are going to come for society. All those things are now needed. That type of integration is required. Isotopes are very, very important for medicine, for food, for keeping the life intact for future. So these are the technologies, these are the signs of future time. What we are talking now, 25 years ahead, when we will be celebrating our 100th year of independence. What should be our focus and what should be our approach? So being a scientist, being a family, being a member of family, a scientific family, this is our approach and this should be our motto to develop the scientific knowledge for the benefit of society. This is what I am thinking, and at this moment I thought I should share with all young people, those who are there, those are students and they are going to take science of India further ahead, maybe 100th year, maybe 125 years, something like that, of independence that they are going to celebrate. So with this word, I thank NIN team, I thank the whole scientific community who participated in this program of 6 days. I had a very good feedback from my colleague who was continuously here. Dr. Niranjan Kumar participated and he has shown the science of rocks and minerals. Ultimately, rocks and minerals gives you soil and soil ultimately gives you nutrition. So that is the food chain. It starts from, everything comes from the earth, Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is nothing but your rocks and minerals. So idea was that we should expose the students, the community, those who are coming to hear, that how this scientific department is working and what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages of various fields of atomic energy, various fields of scientific development done in atomic energy, but the main objective of DAE, which probably has been attended by my colleague Dr. Niranjan Kumar, and I understand I was getting feedback daily basis that many students have seen that thing and they have appreciated the stall. So again, I thank the NIN team for giving it this opportunity, and will be happy to be a part of any scientific program in Hyderabad, wherever such type of things are there. Hint has already been given. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sinha, for sharing your thoughts and also for offering us the financial help for future activities. Thanks a lot for your. Now, Bhanu will have to share.
I forgot one point. Sir, I'm so overwhelmed with the success of the program. I forgot to highlight one aspect of the program, that is statistics. Personally, we planned 200 in the morning, 200 in the afternoon, but every day we reach the number 1000 or 1100, and all our people are geared up for that challenge. And yesterday, by lunch itself, we crossed 1400. That's probably next time it is at your place. Thank you.
Now it's my pleasant duty to introduce our chief guest for today's function, Professor Apparao. Professor Apparao served as the Vice Chancellor of University of Hyderabad and has over 32 years of teaching and research experience. Professor Rao is an elected fellow of all major science academies, including Indian National Science Academy, Indian Academy of Sciences, Bangalore, National Academy of Agricultural Sciences, New Delhi, National Academy of Sciences, Allahabad, Association of Microbiologists of India, New Delhi, and the founding fellow of Telangana Academy of Sciences, Hyderabad. He is a recipient of the prestigious J.C. Bose Fellowship from DST, the Tata Innovation Fellowship from DBT India, and many more. Currently, he is a senior professor at the Department of Plant Sciences, University of Hyderabad. I would now like to, I now request Dr. Parao to kindly deliver his valedictory address.
The director of the institute, Dr. Hemlata, the head of the organizing committee, Dr. Bhan Prakash Reddy, my colleague from AMD, the director, Dr. Sinha, and scientist from NIN, senior scientist, Dr. Sinha, other scientists, staff, students and participants from other institutions who have participated in this week-long science festival at NIN. I think it's a very, very special day for me for a variety of reasons. After a very long time, probably I am attending a physical meeting. That's where it brings back the memories of pre-COVID times. And also, I have maybe, as I could not say no, I have accepted 3 different such assignments on this day as a special day. That's where I felt today is a very special day for me. And I'm very happy to participate in this valedictory function for an event which Dr. Bhan Prakash has asked me some time ago. I said yes, I will be available. And thank you very much for thinking about me and to share my thoughts on this occasion. In India, and Madam has already mentioned about Dr. C.V. Raman and his Nobel winning contributions. But what is more important for us to remember, I'm sure the activities that Bhan Prakash has explained that span the last 1 week speak about the volumes of how the government, the Principal Scientific Advisor's Office, has planned this event throughout the country involving 75 institutions and making a program, a broad program, and then giving flexibility to the institution to organize the way it can be tailor-made for that particular institution, gave a scope to the country for the first time. And happy, and more importantly, on an occasion like the 75 years of independence that we are celebrating. It's a very, very special occasion for all of us to feel proud that our country is now independent for more than 75 years now. This 75 years, when we look back, what did we achieve? And how things have improved over a period of time. When I say that, it doesn't mean that there is no scope for further improvement. There's a lot of scope to improve further. But for somebody like me, who have been watching the developments in science, many of you may recall, we were not having sufficient food grains. We were not having sufficient food grains, we were not able to feed the people of the country. We were dependent on several other countries for different items, including the food grains, oil seeds, pulses, several of them. Today, where do we stand? We are confident and we say that we have excess of it, and in fact we have problems in storing them in godowns. We have problems. And that's a different story. We don't have to worry too much on that at this point in time. There are institutions which are taking care of it. And in many other aspects, especially when we talk about the food, the milk, the eggs, or other kinds of products that we consume daily, on a daily basis,
we have become more or less self-sufficient. Is it not a big achievement for us to celebrate? Yes, in my opinion, that's the biggest thing that we have achieved as a country, and thanks to the contributions that have come from agricultural scientists for several decades, for these 7 decades. We have rightly adopted the Green Revolution. We have adopted the Green Revolution thanks to initiative taken by Nam Morla, and then the direction given by Professor M.S. Swaminathan to the country about on how to take forward the concepts of the Green Revolution, and that has really contributed for the self-sufficiency today that we are talking. But at the same time, like Dr. Sinha was mentioning, we also have created a problem with that. We are on one hand self-sufficient with the food, and on the other hand we have also created problems for ourselves with the Green Revolution. That doesn't mean that we have to just to brush aside all that achievement that we have got. At that point in time, the country required Green Revolution, and today what we need probably is evergreen revolution. How do we achieve such kind of an evergreen revolution? Taking conscious note of what has happened and how we have sidetracked the things of green revolution. Unfortunately, the excess use of these chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides has enormously damaged the soil. Yes, he was mentioning about it. And we have to get back that soil in a better way to make, we have to convert, we have to transform that back into a good soil, and that is something which has to happen here. Because the deterioration has happened over decades. Getting it back to the normalcy also will take some time. But that's a big task in front of us, and we should get it as soon as possible to ensure that we have the sustainable agriculture. The agriculture should be sustained, and by the time 2050 or so, when the population is likely to increase. In fact, I'm standing in an institution like NIN, where you always talk about the importance of nutrition. You try to understand how to overcome the problems of diseases, particularly the lifestyle diseases. All of them, when we are talking about those things, already the consciousness has been built by institutions like yours on the nutritional value, the value of the nutrition in the food that we are consuming. That's become that consciousness. When it will come only when you have sufficient food. First of all, if you don't have sufficient food, people will first talk about, do I have food? Now once we have food, we are now talking about whether we have potassium in that, whether we have sufficient sodium in it, or we have excess of sodium in it. I was reading something, the Niti Aayog is looking at a report. I'm sure Madam must be advising them on that. How to increase the tax burden on the food products which contain the salt, sugar and fat. They're seriously considering that option. That means that we are becoming more health conscious. We don't want to have more people with obese, and we want to have to take care of the health of these individuals. So such kinds of things have come because of the scientific advancements that have taken place in the country, and we must thank all our scientists. Of course, again, we cannot take one individual name. For whatever purposes, we have recognized Professor Swaminathan as the father of Green Revolution. Let's acknowledge his contribution on that. At the same time, I also want to share some thoughts with all of you that the government, there are two more points that I would like to mention. we have a lot of young generation today. Well, after some time, right now we are in an advantageous position, and after some time we are going to run into a disadvantageous position with that. We have not been able to sufficiently tap the resources, the human resources available at this young age. When people like us, when we travel to Europe and other countries and develop, even much of the developed countries, we don't see so many of the fellowships offered by the government to the students. That way, India is very good. We have been providing, India has thought of different kinds of fellowships to the students to carry out research. Nowhere you will find a CSIR giving a fellowship. Nowhere you find a DBT giving a fellowship to the students to carry out PhD. And it's a unique for a country like ours. But some of us, we always feel we need more of that. We need more of that. Yes, we have it, but we need more of it for us to tap and for us to encourage more of our students to take career in science so that they can make good contributions to the development of the nation. Unfortunately, what's happening is the government, for various reasons, has not been able to increase the budget for the science and technology. Even the current budget, 22-23 budget, also talks close to 15,000, little less than 15,000 crores for science and technology, which is almost 0.7% of our GDP. And if we have to, even 2-3 years ago, as early as 2020, 2019-2020, the economic survey has indicated that it is better. The government thinks of providing, allocating at least 2% of the GDP for science and technology for the country to flourish even better. We have been improving our index, our scientific contributions index, from somewhere from above 80 to somewhere between 40 to 50 these days. That's of course a good indication, but that's not, we should not be complacent on that. We should all be thinking about how do we reach the top 10. I always tell people that we must reach the top 10 wherever we are. We don't have to think about number one or number two. If we are into the top 10, we are the best. We are among the best. That's all it is required. For us to reach to that stage, unlike China and Japan and other developed countries where they spend close to 3 to 4% of their GDP, at least if we spend 2% of our GDP, we should be able to reach to the goal of the top 10, and then we can always be proud of our achievements. So at 75 years of independence, the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, if we are talking about some of our achievements, I'm sure at 100 years when we celebrate the centenary, we will be able to say more confidently, yes, we have done much more than what anybody else could have done. See, the problem, all of us should understand, we are a country with rich diversity. Diversity in every aspect. Ethnic diversities we have regional, we have language diversities, we have so many different kinds of diversities we have. With all that, as a single nation, that we have been able to do so well is in itself a big achievement for us. And the third point that I wanted to share with you is, today, the scientific advancements are so rapid, world over. Not necessarily only from India. World over, the advancements are so rapid that things are changing very quickly. And sooner we may have hydrogen energy replacing most of these current day energies, current day sources of energy that we are using. It's not that far. How is that becoming possible? Electric cars are anyway already there on the Indian roads, and it is going to be there in the next 2 to 3 years. Most of them are going to be there. And hydrogen is going to replace even this kind of energies. And of course, once we have once we enhance our capabilities to have strong batteries that can hold on to these energies, we are going to be more successful with that. How all these things are coming, we have to imagine. And when every time when I read about the youngsters, that the way they are doing their contributions in entrepreneurship, I'm amused, I would say. The ideas, the kind of ideas they have, the kind of enthusiasm they have, the kind of confidence they have, speaks volumes today. So today, we are not looking at, even to my own students, when I talk to my PhD students, I talk to them, see how best you can take the work that you have carried out. Is that having a translational potential? Can you have a startup based on the idea that you have on this, or some other related ideas that you can think better and have a startup of your own? Don't think of looking for a postdoc next, a scientist next. Well, you can do that. We can do that, there is no problem. But the more if we are confident, we will be able to start some enterprise of our own, and then contribute to the country first, and satisfaction that we will have by having such kind of enterprise of our own will be enormous. Keeping that in view, in fact, some time ago, when I was Vice Chancellor, we have started a big incubator. In fact, we have 3 different incubators today on the University of Hyderabad, in the University of Hyderabad campus, with over 150, at least 100 companies incubating. And some of them are our own students, some of them are our own faculty. That's what we have encouraged, and that's what is the culture that should be growing. And today I was reading, I was so happy, Usman University has started yesterday. We should have more and more of these, and more of your youngsters should be able to start your own companies and contribute significantly. Otherwise, if Krishna Ella was not thinking about starting his own company, what kind of a name we would have got? It is unimaginable, at least for somebody like me who has been in microbiology, unimaginable to have a vaccine within 1 year of the pandemic. Within 1 year of the outbreak of the pandemic, to have a vaccine of our own is unimaginable in any standards if it was a few years ago. But it has become possible. That has become possible only because there are people like Krishna Ella. At least the country is now proud of such kind of contributions. And the world over also, within 6 months things were available. Actually we had to go through the regulatory processes for us to release the vaccine. But for that, I don't think we would have had an opportunity to sit like this and have an event to celebrate the culmination of our the week-long science festival that we have conducted. And so, my dear friends, I don't want to talk more. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers, particularly Dr. Bhan Prakash and Hemlata Madam, for thinking about me to share my views with you on a valedictory session. And thanks to all of you for listening to me carefully. And let's remember that we have achieved sufficiently, and we have a reason to celebrate, and we have a reason to have for this 1 week-long festival, science festival, to celebrate at 75 different locations. In 100th year after independence, I'm sure we will celebrate with bigger fanfare and with more institutions and more. Last point that I would like to tell, because there is an association, this activity has been associated with scope. All of us should remember in science that we must communicate we must communicate to the common man. If we don't have the capability to communicate the science to the common man, we are not doing sufficient justice to the science. Because many people think that these people are in ivory towers, and we must find a way to communicate. And in fact, I have encouraged my student. I keep encouraging my students, and he got a prize for that also from DST. We have to do that, and I myself do it. In fact, I have written 3 or 4 a series of articles when this pandemic. At the outbreak of this pandemic, as to what are these viruses and how these diseases happen, how these diseases occur, and how to understand the whole concept of this. That's how we have contributed, and we need to do more of it, and we need to be mingling with the public, and people should understand and appreciate. Then only there will be pressure on the government to increase the science and technology budget. Today what is happening, on a rare occasion you find a science news in a newspaper, scientific achievement in a newspaper. It should become a more regular phenomenon. More and more of those things should be coming, and more the policy makers should be able to appreciate, yes, here is a contribution, and we must support it. If we can do all this, we would have achieved our goal. And with this, I would like to once again thank the organizers, Hemlata Madam and Dr. Van Prakash, for inviting me. And I congratulate the team led by Dr. Van Prakash, the entire team. He was talking about so many of you and organizations that have contributed to the success of this festival. This is how it has to happen. If we feel that this is a festival, that's the biggest achievement that we have. So I congratulate the entire team on this occasion and wish good luck to everyone here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your thoughts and wisdom with us and for making it convenient to be part of the valedictory ceremony. I would now request our director to hand over appreciation certificates to representatives of participating institutions. I'll be calling out. The first one is BAE, Atomic Minerals Directorate for Exploration and Research. Is somebody here? Center for DNA Fingerprinting and Diagnostics. Center for High Energy Systems and Sciences. Defense Research and Development Laboratory. ICMR, National Animal Resource Facility for Biomedical Research. CSIR, National Geophysical Research Institute. DBT, National Institute of Animal Biotechnology. ISRO, National Remote Sensing Center. Mr. P. Vikram Kumar, IIT Madras. Navas, Navars. Jana Vigyan Vedika. Vigyan Bharti. Vigyan Bharti, somebody here.
I can take that. I also required Vigyan about this. Yes.
CFTRI Center for Technology Research Institute. Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services. Defense Metallurgical Research Laboratory.
This was what achievement for us, and all of us are together for 7 days. All the institutes.
Defense Research Development Organization. Yeah. I now request our Honorable Director to felicitate the Chief Guest for today, Dr. Apparao, with a shawl and a memento. I now request our Director to felicitate our guest of honor, Dr. Sinha, with a shawl and a memento. I now request Dr. S.N. Sinha, Scientist F, ICMR NIN, to please propose the vote of thanks.
आदरणीय डायरेक्टर महोदया, भानुप्रकाश रेड्डी, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी, प्रोफेसर पी अप्पाराव, फॉर्मर वाइस चांसलर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ हैदराबाद, डॉक्टर डी.के. सिन्हा, एमडी हैदराबाद। मैं एक शायरी के साथ, चूँकि मुझे हिंदी में वोट ऑफ थैंक्स बोलने के लिए कहा गया है, इसलिए मैं एक शायरी के साथ स्टार्ट करता हूँ। विज्ञान के प्रसार महोत्सव के उजालों को हमेशा साथ रहने दे, न जाने किस गली में जिंदगी की शाम बजाए। मैं डॉक्टर बलराम भार्गव को धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करना चाहता हूं, जो चीफ पैट्रन हैं इसके, और उन्होंने हर कदम पे हम लोगों को साथ दिया है, हमारे डायरेक्टर को साथ दिया है, उन्होंने पैसे का अप्रूवल दिया, और इस फंक्शन के मुकाम तक पहुंचने के कारण डॉक्टर बलराम भार्गव जो महानिदेशक और सेक्रेटरी DHR हैं वो बहुत खुश हैं। मुझे व्यक्तिगत रूप से उनसे बात हुई एंड वो बहुत खुश हैं और उन्होंने कहा कि आप लोगों ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया, आपके टीम ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है। मैं अपने डायरेक्टर महोदया डॉक्टर R हेमलता डायरेक्टर को तहे दिल से शुक्र अदा करना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि उनके बिना ये जो फंक्शन है, साइंटिफिक फेस्टिवल का जो महोत्सव है, वो अपने मुकाम तक नहीं पहुँच पाता। उन्होंने रात दिन सबों को इनकरेज करके, फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंट दे करके, सबों को इनकरेज कर, उत्साहित करके और काम करने के लिए प्रेरित किया, जिसके कारण ये आज मुकाम तक पहुंचा, चरमोत्सव तक पहुंच पाया है। मैं भानु प्रकाश रेड्डी, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी और साइंटिस्ट जी डॉक्टर GM सुब्बाराव, साइंटिस्ट F को धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि उन्हें रात दिन मिलकर और सभी कमेटी मेंबर को, कमेटी कन्वेनर को फ्री ऑफ हैंड, खुली हाथ छूट दे रखी थी काम करने के लिए, जिसके कारण ये जो फंक्शन है, जो विज्ञान प्रसार महोत्सव है, वो अपने मुकाम को, चरमोत्कर्ष को प्राप्त कर पाया है। मैं डॉक्टर नारायण मूर्ति DG DRDO को धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि उन्होंने हमारे निमंत्रण को स्वीकार किया और यहाँ आकर के अपने वैज्ञानिक फैक्ट, वैज्ञानिक थॉट, वैज्ञानिक विचारों से हम लोगों को अवगत कराया, जिसके लिए उनको मैं तहे दिल से शुक्र अदा करता हूँ। नाउ मैं ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर कल्चरल सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर श्री जी कृष्णा रेड्डी को भी धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि उन्होंने इस अपना बहुमूल्य समय निकाल करके हमारे निमंत्रण को स्वीकृत किया और यहाँ आने का कष्ट किया और उन्होंने पूरी तरह सहयोग की और एक एक स्टॉल को देखा और अपना विचार व्यक्त किया। इसलिए मैं उनको तहे दिल से शुक्र अदा करना चाहता हूँ। मैं प्रोफेसर अप्पा राव जो फॉर्मर वाइस चांसलर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ हैदराबाद हैं, उनको मैं धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि उन्होंने यहाँ अपना बहुमूल्य समय, इतना बिजी शेड्यूल होने के बाद भी अपना बहुमूल्य समय निकाल करके यहाँ पे आने की चेष्टा की और अपने वैज्ञानिक थॉट से, वैज्ञानिक फैक्ट से, वैज्ञानिक विचारों से हम लोगों को अवगत कराया, मार्गदर्शन दिया। मैं डॉक्टर DK सिन्हा AMD हैदराबाद को धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि उन्होंने हमारे निमंत्रण को स्वीकृत किया और स्वीकार करने के बाद यहाँ आकर के अपने बिजी शेड्यूल होने के बाद भी अपना बहुमूल्य समय दे करके हम लोगों को अपने साइंटिफिक विचार से, थॉट से, फैक्ट से अवगत कराया। इसके लिए मैं उन्हें भी शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ। मैं जितने भी स्पीकर्स जिन्होंने इसमें अपने लेक्चर को, वैज्ञानिक लेक्चर को, विज्ञान से युक्त लेक्चर को उन्होंने यहाँ प्रसारण बच्चों को बताया, साइंस के थॉट के बारे में, साइंस के फैक्ट के बारे में स्पेशली बच्चों को टीच किया, उनको मैं तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ। वो लेक्चरर जो उन्होंने लेक्चर दिया वो हैं डॉक्टर CH मोहन राव, डॉक्टर M चंद्रशेखरन, डॉक्टर वेंकट जस्टी, NIN टीम, डॉक्टर शशिगिरी राव, डॉक्टर K थंगराजू, डॉक्टर GN राव और डॉक्टर विष्णुवर्धन राव। इन सबों ने आकर के यहाँ अपना टॉक डिलीवर किया और बच्चों को विज्ञान के नए दिशा में जाने के लिए प्रेरित किया। मैं अपने सभी जो कमेटी कन्वेनर मेंबर्स हैं उनको शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि उनके बिना ये काम संभव नहीं था। मैं खासकर जे बाबू जिन्होंने रात दिन यहाँ रहकर मेंटेनेंस डिपार्टमेंट में और इन्होंने जिस तरह से इसको ऑर्गेनाइज किया और जिस तरह से उन्होंने मेहनत करके इसको चार चांद लगाया, इसलिए उनको मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। साइंटिफिक सेशन में डॉक्टर अहमद इब्राहिम साइंटिस्ट F, पोस्टर में डॉक्टर महेश्वर साइंटिस्ट E, एग्जीबिट में डॉक्टर SN सिन्हा साइंटिस्ट F, कैंटीन वाटर सप्लाई डॉक्टर J पंजा, मेडिकल केयर डॉक्टर इंद्रप्रस्थ मेश्राम, फिल्म स्क्रीनिंग डॉक्टर कादरी, हॉल मेंटेनेंस डॉक्टर सोभी, मीडिया डॉक्टर GM सुब्बाराव, IT कमेटी डॉक्टर संतोष कुमार, ट्रांसपोर्ट डॉक्टर सुधीर घोष, AC पावर सप्लाई डॉक्टर उदय कुमार, विजिटर मैनेजमेंट डॉक्टर एम सतीश कुमार, टेक्निकल सपोर्ट डॉक्टर संजय प्रसाद, सभी को मैं तहे दिल से शुक्र अदा करना चाहता हूँ और ध्यान और धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करता हूँ, और उनके टीमों को भी धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करता हूँ, क्योंकि उनके बिना ये संभव नहीं था। मैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को सबसे ज़्यादा उन्होंने तुरंत क्विकली उन्होंने इंडेंट किया और सबको सभी के ज़रूरत के हिसाब से प्रोक्योरमेंट किया, इसलिए एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में SAO, HOD, AO, DDO, ACO, अकाउंट, इस सबको धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करना चाहता हूं और धन्यवाद देता हूं। खासकर मैं तहे दिल से उन बच्चों को धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करना चाहता हूं जिन्होंने रात दिन रहकर इस प्रोग्राम को 4 चांद लगाया और अपने मुकाम तक पहुंचाया और एक NIN में इतिहास क्रिएट किया। वो बच्चों, PDF स्कॉलर, रिसर्च स्कॉलर, स्टूडेंट, सबको तहे दिल से धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करता हूँ, क्योंकि उन्होंने रात दिन मिलकर इसको मुकाम तक पहुँचाया है और एक हिस्ट्री NIN में एक हिस्ट्री क्रिएट हुआ है। इतना 7 दिन का फेस्टिवल कम नहीं होता है और कंटिन्यूसली ये चला है और पोस्टर सेशन से लेके लेक्चर से लेके सब कंप्लीटली सफल रहा है, इसलिए उस बच्चों को खासकर मैं धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करना चाहता हूँ। ऑल अदर सभी जितने भी बंधु और साथी हैं जिन्होंने इसमें काम किया है, सभी स्टाफ मेंबर को मैं धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करना चाहता हूं। और एक शायरी के साथ मैं ख़त्म करना चाहता हूं। खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि तकदीर के आगे, कि खुदा भी आके पूछे तुम्हारी रजा क्या है। इन लोगों ने इतनी बुलंदी से काम की है कि खुदा भी वहाँ से देखकर हैरान है, परेशान है, लबेजान है। थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
I would now request all of you to rise for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
With this, we come to the end of the valedictory ceremony. I would request you all to join for tea, and also I would request you all to join for the national closing ceremony that will be held in Delhi today. That will be live streamed on YouTube at 4 p.m. Thank you very much.